man of the hour, Shohei Ohtani, making his Dodger debut today in one of the most anticipated spring training games in recent memory. Today, the Dodgers take on the Chicago White Sox here at Camelback Ranch. Hi again, everybody, along with Rick Monday. I'm Tim Neverett. Kirsten Watson will join us momentarily. So happy you're with us today. And Shohei Ohtani will bat second and play designated hitter. That answers a big question. Where would he hit in the batting order?
The other big question, can he find a parking place as you arrive here at Camelback Ranch, Glendale, earlier today? And with Ohtani batting the 2 spot, it's quite a threesome. You look at Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and then Freddie Freeman to set the stage for Will Smith and Max Muncy, who had the 2 of the highest at bats with runners in scoring position last year. You wonder what it's going to be like today, but today is kind of a special day. It's a different feeling, and for Ohtani, well, to get in, get some swings, and to get out of the ballgame.
And this 1-2-3 punch, if all breaks right this year, could be historically good. Lots of folks on hand, fans of the man, Shohei Ohtani. He'll debut coming up very shortly. Net LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr., where our signature Charbroiled burgers are always the star. Pretty nice day here in Glendale. White Sox and Dodgers. Let's go downstairs and say good afternoon to Kirsten.
Thanks, Tim. Well, today the big news is that Shohei Ohtani is making his Dodger debut, and Dave Roberts told us the plan for him today as the DH is going to be taking about 2 to 3 at-bats. The hope is that he can get to 3. Dave Roberts told us yesterday that he is full go, and Shohei, when he spoke to us recently, told us that his elbow feels 100%, so this is just another really positive step in the right direction. He feels very optimistic that he is going to be ready for opening day in Korea, as well as opening day in Los Angeles. And then from moving forward from today, Dave Roberts and him are going to be in close conversation, because it is going to be a day-to-day conversation as to if he's going to be taking some back-to-backs, which we will be seeing soon. But for right now, everything is in a good spot, and the excitement is all around today, making his Dodger debut, guys.
Right on schedule. That's what you want to hear when it comes to Shohei Ohtani. And we'll see him in the bottom of the first inning. But in the top of the first, our lineups brought to you by your Lexus dealers. Dominic Fletcher to lead off. Nicky Lopez at second base. Eloy Jimenez, the designated hitter. Andrew Vaughn is at first base for the White Sox. Mike Moustakas at third. Paul DeJong, the former Cardinal shortstop, batting next. Oscar Colas, and then Kevin Pillar, followed by Max Stassi, the catcher. Bobby Miller, 22 starts last season, and boy, did he impress. He had the highest average fastball velocity at 99 last season.
And he threw 280 pitches last year at 100 miles an hour or more. And a little strange thing, it was the changeup that was really helping to set up that good heater.
So just about set to get underway. Dodgers in their spring training blue tops. The White Sox in their black alternate tops, gray pants, ready to go. As Miller goes into the wind of the first pitch of the ball game is down low for ball one. Will Smith doing the catching. Dominic Fletcher with Arizona for a bit last year. 291 in AAA, which for the White Sox would be in Charlotte, North Carolina. 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man, the left fielder Dominic Fletcher. Well, you look at Bobby Miller, first round pick, 29th overall, 2020 from Louisville. Misses again, trying to zero in the sights. 3 balls and no strikes. And he had a guy who was also a first round pick catching him in Henry Davis, and then Dalton Rushing, Dodger prospect, was the backup catcher at Louisville at that time. Pumps one in there, and now he's found his first strike.
Well, they found a lot of strikes. You start to look at Miller, 124 innings last year. He walked only 32, struck out 119.
3 ball, 1 strike pitch. Fouled away, and the count is full, 3-2.
So I mentioned the changeup with Miller. The changeup was just a 133 batting average against. Of all the starting pitchers in baseball, that was the lowest batting average against on a changeup of any starter.
Payoff pitch. Fletcher will get another. Fouled out of the glove of Will Smith.
So you've got a guy that averages last year 99 miles an hour, and yet the changeup just a .133 average.
Very good, very effective against that pitch. 3-2. Bounding ball to the right side, backing up Freeman. Long toss. Miller is there. 3-1 put out, 1 away.
The other thing we noticed about Miller last year is that he was really beyond his years in anticipating what was going to happen. You just saw him covering first base. He never looked mystified by a ball that was hit back to him or where to be on a play.
So Bobby now will face Nicky Lopez, the second baseman. And occasionally in spring you're going to find time, you know, these guys are doing PFPs all the time, but still when you get in a game sometimes a younger pitcher might forget or might have a late break to first, but Bobby was right on that one. Strike call to Lopez.
First curveball of the ball game, and that was a good one.
Here's Miller's 0-1 pitch. That's inside a third, fair down the line. Should be 2 for Lopez. Over there to get it. Teoscar Hernandez gets by him a little bit, but Lopez will turn second and stop there with a double.
A good fastball. You did not see a whole lot of pitches that are being pulled by batters against Miller, and for Lopez able to fight it off. That ball out away from him. That's a tough pitch to hit to begin with, and the infield a little bit to pull, and a lot of room down that left field line. And boy, that side rail, that could be an afternoon of anything but delightful.
Eloy Jimenez will now bat for the White Sox. Jimenez is the DH today for Chicago. 0-1 the count.
The White Sox, a long year last year. 66 wins, 101 losses.
0-1 pitch. And Bobby Miller, remember, he started Dominic Fletcher off 3-0. He's thrown 8 straight strikes since.
Yeah, we just saw the changeup, and way out in front is Jimenez. I mean, it's such a disparity as far as the velocity, and Miller does not tip off that changeup at all. Doesn't alter the delivery.
Locked up Jimenez, trying to go around, and the appeal down to Todd Tishner at first, no good. James Jean, by the way, calling the balls and strikes. Todd Tishner at first base, Adam Hammery at second, and Gabe Morales, the umpire, at third. Base umpires rotating during spring training. Shohei Ohtani pacing, waiting to get in the game. He'll have to wait a little longer. Jimenez chops it foul, third base side.
Speaking of waiting, we noticed there were about 20 photographers waiting and waiting and waiting for Shohei Ohtani to make his appearance from the left field corner. And they're at the far end of the Dodger dugout right now, but they were anticipating at the end of that dugout on the warning track.
A 1-2 to Jimenez with Lopez at second base. 1 out. It's low for a ball. Yeah, the media coverage this spring has been like no other year. The fans on the back fields, as soon as they open in the morning, I mean, they just rush in. It's full every day as they hope to get a glimpse of Mr. Ohtani. 2-2 from Miller. This one hammered to center field. After it is Ramos, still on the run, and he won't get it. It's over his head. Lopez will touch third. He'll come to the plate, and Eloy Jimenez is in with a run-scoring double. The White Sox break the ice. It's 1-0.
Isn't it amazing how an at-bat can change because you're down 0-2. You have a check swing. It's ruled not a swing. So then you move the count to 2-2, and you get one exactly in an area that you might be looking for it and hope you can get a fastball in the middle of the plate.
Runner in scoring position. 1 out for Andrew Vaughn, the first baseman. Vaughn standing in from the right side against Miller. First rounder, 3rd overall pick by the White Sox out of Cal Berkeley just a few years ago in 2019.
You know, Tim, I noticed that it mentioned 101 losses for the White Sox last year. They have 70 players in camp.
Trying to find 26.
Well, it's 70 players.
They're gonna help them.
And I think they're all here, plus a few more. Their first base dugout doesn't look like a dugout full of players. It looks like a snapshot of a village.
Yeah, they're standing about 2 and 3 deep down there. It's a busy place. 1-1. Popped up. Third base side. Coming in is Max Muncy. He'll make the catch and foul ground for the second out. 2 down, top of the first. On the radio TV simulcast today, no matter what medium you're on, hope you enjoy the ball game today. Got a beautiful day here in Arizona. Dave Roberts' club looking to win their 5th game, unbeaten at 4-0-1 in Cactus League play. The White Sox 1-3. Pitch to Moustakas is in there for a strike. Moustakas last year hit .236 with the Angels.
Yeah, he started with the Rockies and then in June went to Anaheim, and overall 112 games.
0-1. And that's popped up to the right side. Freddie Freeman in foul ground right near the coach's box. He'll make the catch. And now what everybody's waiting for. It's just about showtime, folks. Shohei Ohtani will bat second when we come back. First inning, and let's take a look at the Dodgers starting lineup today. Pretty powerful looking. It's brought to you by your Lexus dealers. Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith in the cleanup spot, Max Muncy at third base, and Teoscar Hernandez in left, Jason Hayward in right. Miguel Rojas is the shortstop, and Jose Ramos is in center field. The first pitch from left-hander Garrett Crochet out of the University of Tennessee. Home is Ocean Springs, Mississippi. A tall lefty delivers ball one to Mookie. And Mookie hits it on the ground right side. To his glove side is Nicky Lopez. He'll pick it up, throw on to first. And Betts is out, and here comes Shohei. This is what Dodger fans have been waiting for. Left on left matchup. And the first pitch, check swing, it's up high. Ball one. Two-time most valuable player. And that was really, I think, largely because the Angels at one point stopped restricting him. Swing and a miss there, and a pretty big swing too. 1 ball, 1 strike. When he first came, remember, they wouldn't let him pitch the day before, the day of, and the day after he pitched, right? They wouldn't let him hit on those days. So there's 3 days out of the week that he was out of the lineup offensively. But then when Joe Madden and Perry Minasian got there, they said, you know what, you tell us when you're not feeling right. And he ended up winning 2 MVPs after that. Fouls this one away, and it's now a 1-2 count to Ohtani.
Well, one of the many things we've learned already about Ohtani, when he takes batting practice, everything is very well regimented. He approaches every swing, every pitch the same way.
1-2, strike 3. And that's how it begins today, and what we expect to be the first of perhaps 3 at-bats for Shohei Ohtani.
And by approaching every bat the same way, I'm talking about getting set, getting into the batter's box, and as the afternoon goes along, we'll have a sneak preview. But a very interesting approach. He has no stride. It's basically a pivot up on the toe, and then a change in a weight transfer.
Now Freddie Freeman, the batter. Freeman in the 3rd spot. I got used to seeing Freddie in the 2nd spot, but this was something that was determined a while ago in spring training. Dave Roberts met with everybody, and they've known this. Freddie has known this. Shohei has known this. Other players have known this for a while, and then it wasn't revealed until this morning when the clubhouse opened at 8 a.m. local time that was going to be the lineup. And you say, okay, why Freddie 3rd and Shohei 2nd? There's some reasons for that. First of all, Shohei can really run, and I think you can take advantage of that hitting in front of Freddie Freeman. Freddie gets some good protection with Shohei hitting in front of him. I think you can come up with a laundry list of reasons why this is a good lineup.
Yeah, and then Freeman hit well against left-handed pitching, so you're not diminished on that end of it either.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Freddie. He pops it back, fouling out of play.
But how do you stack up the lineup? And they're facing Garrett Crochet, who, by the way, is making his first start since college.
Yep, they're stretching him out. He's been a reliever since he's been a pro. As another foul ball sails out of play. But yeah, they want to stretch him out to be a starter now.
And that's the possibility. 6'6", the lefty, just 24 years of age, against Freeman. So right at 6'5", Freddie Freeman.
2-2. Foul tip in and out of the glove of the catcher Max Stassi. And Crochet had Tommy John surgery in 2022. Came back last year, had 13 appearances after he returned from the surgery in mid-May last year. And Crochet winds the 2-2 pitch. There's a ground ball hit toward the middle. The shortstop is Paul DeYoung. He's over there to glove it on the second base side and throws out Freeman. So it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. 1-0 White Sox. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to your favorite ballpark. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Paul DeYoung puts this one in the air to right field. Jason Hayward ranging over. He grabs it. One pitch, one out in the White Sox second inning against Bobby Miller.
For Bobby Miller, also what they refer to as, well, reverse splits. Left-handers hit the lowest, 203. Right-handers at 252.
Another left-hander, Oscar Colas, right fielder. One snapped in a little bit low.
Tim, one thing we noticed also about Miller last year, wherever Clayton Kershaw was in the dugout, Bobby Miller was right there. Neither one of them were pitching that particular day.
1-0 pitch, a wave and a miss.
And when Kershaw would have a bullpen session, who was peeking over his shoulder? Bobby Miller. He wanted to see one of the best, how he went around, not only training on off days, but how he had bullpen sessions.
Well, at first, everything really worked out for him. You look at his first 4 starts last year. He went 3-0 with an 0.78 ERA and became the 3rd Dodger ever to allow 2 or fewer earned runs in his first 23 innings pitched. The other 2 guys, Kenta Maeda and Fernando Valenzuela. So Bobby got off to a great start, an historically good start last season. He had a couple of missteps in June, but other than that, he was really, really good. And June 17th, June 24th. Those were the tough starts. And he gets a strikeout here. Colas swinging. That's his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, you have a guy that averages 99, and then you get the hook as he gets it right here, and that's just not an ordinary hook either. So for Miller, okay, the fastball, check that box off. Good curveball, check that one off. We've already seen a good changeup, check that one off as well. Not bad for the first outing.
2 down. Here's Kevin Pillar, the Southern Californian. He swings and grounds it foul past third.
Because that changeup is such a field pitch to begin with.
But coming off that 100-mile-an-hour fastball,
yeah,
you know, it's all relative. It's that perceived velocity. He's got that same delivery with the change. Ground ball toward third. Max Muncy plays the good hop, sets his feet, guns it across, and gets him by a step. It's a 9-pitch inning for Bobby Miller. And we played an inning and a half in Glendale. It's the White Sox 1, Dodgers 0.
Yesterday, the Dodgers and Kike Hernandez made his return official to Dodger Blue, and on Wednesday, July 24th against the Giants, it's going to be Kike Hernandez bobblehead night. Dave Roberts and the team are incredibly excited that he is back, and we have been told that he should be in the lineup on Friday, guys.
Yeah, so I know he's looking forward to that. A lot of folks looking forward to getting him back. And they've got July 24th circled now on the calendar for Kike Hernandez bobblehead night. Will Smith leads off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the second inning. Smith, Muncy, and Teoscar Hernandez. This is a guy who should really benefit from having Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman hitting in front of him.
Well, I mentioned in the pregame show is that if you look back to last year, Max Muncy had the most at bats of any player in baseball with runners in scoring position. Who had the second most? He's at home plate right now, Will Smith.
Crochet's pitch swung on, bounced down to third, grabbed by Moustakas in the hole, and he throws out Will. One gone.
And it figures you have more opportunities. Will Smith batting in the fourth, and today we're seeing Max Muncy in the 5 spot. And a nice play by the Moose down at third. Moustakas saying, hey, forget what the birth certificate said. He's 35 years of age, non-roster player.
Max Muncy will take a strike.
But from an offensive standpoint, you look at the Dodgers and what they're going to be doing. And with Ohtani in there, Gavin Lux, who made his defensive debut yesterday at shortstop. The Dodgers potentially have 6 left-handed batters in their lineup. So the addition, the acquisition of Kike Hernandez is really going to help fortify the bench for Dave Roberts, because it figures you're going to be stacking, or other teams will be stacking left-handed pitching if possible.
The one advantage really when you look at the splits of some of the left-handed hitters, 2 of them in particular, Freeman and Ohtani, they're pretty much the same right and left.
Exactly. And then you look at Jason Hayward had only 28 plate appearances against lefties last year.
Muncy loops it into right. That's a base hit. First hit for the Dodgers this afternoon.
Well, on cue, as you talked about Muncy against lefties, he gets the base hit. And for Max Muncy, only 23 hits against lefties last year, but 11 of those were hit out of the ballpark.
Got off to a good start on Sunday here against the Athletics. He homered off a lefty. So his first spring training home run came off a southpaw. Now Teoscar Hernandez, right-handed batter, takes inside, ball 1. All-star with the Blue Jays, came up with the Blue Jays last year with Seattle. Figures to be a very solid outfield acquisition. Good power bat. Swings and fouls it down, and that's a strike to Teoscar. So we got to differentiate now between Teoscar Hernandez and Kike Hernandez. Usually I just write the last names in the scorebook. Now I got to write T Hernandez.
Exactly.
Could go with E for Kike for his real name, Enrique, but always used K for him. 2 balls and a strike to Teoscar. Well, the expectations are very high for the Dodgers this year, and well, they should be. The front office has done everything possible to put the Dodgers in a great position, not only to win the division again, but to put themselves in the best position to play October baseball. Last couple of Octobers, things did not work out the way that anybody had hoped. But the arrival of that guy right there, Ohtani, along with the man who's pitching tomorrow, Shinobu Yamamoto, and of course Tyler Glasnow, we've already seen pitch once in spring thus far. Should help out. And again, it's about pitching in the postseason now with the expanded playoffs. We've all gone through that together now. It's more like a tournament, it seems, than it used to be.
Yeah, the Dodgers did not hit. They did not produce runs during the postseason, which is very short for the second year in a row. And that has left a bitter taste in, well, in just about everybody in uniform.
1-0 White Sox, 1 on 1 out, and Hernandez fouls it off to the right.
It's frustrating to have that good of a season, which the Dodgers did, and then have the sudden stop of the season. But only one team goes in and wins the 11 games and becomes a world champion.
Payoff pitch. Foul back. He'll get another.
You try and tell people is, look, postseason is a totally different animal. Different animal than the regular season. It is so condensed. Every throw, every swing, every step you take is monumental.
3-2. That's to right field. A hot shot. Touching second is Muncy. He'll go to third. And Teoscar Hernandez with a one-out base hit. And the Dodgers have runners at the corners.
And that ball hit with authority to the opposite direction. So you talk about opportunities, and Hernandez, not a big strike, kind of a pivot on that front foot. Like he was laying in the weeds waiting for that pitch.
Yamamoto and Ohtani liking it from the dugout. So they're spending time together this afternoon. Jason Hayward, left-handed hitting right fielder. Pitch gets away from the catcher Stassi. Max Muncy stays at third, but advancing to second is Hernandez.
Well, a spot that the Dodgers and Dave Roberts is really happy about. Talked about, well, in the postseason didn't hit. Well, they have really hit so far in the first 5 games with runners in scoring position as a team. 352.
Two men in scoring position now. Pitch to Hayward. Fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike to J-Hay. It's going to be ruled a passed ball against Max Stassi. That moves Teoscar Hernandez to second base. Fouled away to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jason Hayward.
Here's where, as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, 2 strikes, lefty against lefty. And again, only 28 at bats against lefties last year. Get the ball, put it in play right side, get a run.
Hayward after the upstairs pitch and strikes out. 2 down. And that's going to be it for Crochet. Pedro Grifol coming out to get him. And so he has reached his pitch limit for this afternoon.
Boy, not bad for his first start since in college. University of Tennessee.
And a guy who majored in nuclear engineering wouldn't even know where to start with that. 1-0 White Sox pitching change in Glendale. Advanced A and Double A last year. Finished up in Birmingham. 40 appearances overall, 1-2 and a 4.82 earned run average. 247 average against. Dodgers with runners at second and third. White Sox a 1-0 lead, and Miguel Rojas will face Coffey here. And the first pitch is way inside for ball 1. Garrett Crochet goes an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, no runs to the moment, but he's responsible for both men on base. Once he had a base hit to Oscar Hernandez with a base hit. And Rojas fouls this pitch back. 1 ball, 1 strike to Miguel. Shohei Ohtani is 4 batters away right now from his second at bat. And a little chopper to the right side. That'll be picked up by Vaughn. Underhand toss to Coffey covering. And the Dodgers will strand 2. They get 2 hits. We'll go to the 3rd inning. White Sox a 1-0 lead. Back at Camelback Ranch, Glendale with Rick Monday, Tim Neverett, Kirsten Watson with us. Glorious Arizona afternoon. 1-0 White Sox, top of the 3rd, and Michael Peterson takes over for Bobby Miller. Went 2 innings, gave up an earned run on 2 hits, struck out 1. 41 games last year between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. So Bobby's afternoon pretty well complete after 29 pitches. His first Cactus League start. So Peterson kicks and fires, and that one's upstairs. Peterson, born in Great Britain in Middlesex, 29 years of age. He was part of the Great Britain team that played in the WBC last year here in Arizona. They were in that group. Actually acquitted themselves pretty well. I don't know if anybody was sure how Great Britain was going to do in the WBC last year, but considering their, the players are not necessarily as seasoned as the U.S. team was in that group. They did pretty well. A swing and a miss to Max Stassi. He is the number 9 hitter for the White Sox. Dominic Fletcher on deck. Peterson, a big guy, Mo, 6'7". Throws that ball downhill.
And even with that sinker, even more so. That's something. You stand at home plate and you look at a guy. First of all, the mound is raised, and then you get a guy that is tall to begin with. Looks like he just got off the bus from an NBA team.
Yeah, correction. I think I said Tulsa and Oklahoma City. He was in the Rockies system last year. He was in Hartford in AA and Albuquerque in AAA. Here with the Dodgers, pitching against the White Sox this afternoon. 2-2 pitch to Max Stassi. That's low. 3-2. What's that like from the hitter's perspective when you look at the angle from a guy who's 6'7" or better?
Yeah, well, it's a lot like a young kid that looks up. You tell him something that's not fair.
3-2. In the air to center. Jose Ramos, who was with Team Panama in the WBC, makes the catch.
Well, here's the hitter's version. Okay. The pitcher knows what he's going to throw, when he's going to throw it, how fast he's going to throw it, if he's going to spin it or anything else. And if he makes a mistake, there are guys out there with a glove that can help him. As a hitter, you're up there all alone.
Lots of luck. Dominic Fletcher, the left fielder, 0 for 1 today.
And what's the mindset of a hitter? Is it to protect the strike zone or defend it because you own it?
1-0 pitch. Put you on the spot. Offhand, who's probably the tallest pitcher you ever faced? Face any of those 6'8", 6'9" guys?
At one time, the Philadelphia Phillies looked like an NBA team with their pitching staff.
1-1 fouled away.
Don't recall the tallest. There were some guys that were not that tall. They were just as good as the rest of them and threw even harder.
But a guy like Peterson, 6'7", his stride is going to be longer. Again, you pitch a lot with your lower half, so his stride's going to be longer. And by the time he releases the baseball, it's 50-something feet away from him.
Exactly.
There's a ground ball to Freddie Freeman. He'll handle it himself at first. And there are 2 men out.
I mentioned the White Sox and their woes last year, 101 losses. Well, yesterday the Dodgers played the Colorado Rockies. We talked about, well, impatient hitting there. Well, for the White Sox, they had the highest swing rate in Major League Baseball. They also chased more pitches than any other team in baseball.
Well, that's going to be it for Michael Peterson. He is done after 2/3 of an inning. And a pitching change, Michael Grove coming in.
Saw Michael Peterson face 2 batters, and now Michael Grove coming out of the bullpen. And Dave Roberts just briefly told me that with Michael Grove, the focus is, wanting him to come in during the inning, coming out of the bullpen. There's no roles really decided just yet. They are continuing to build him up as a starter, but they do want, with it being so early in spring, getting that experience in different situations, guys.
Yeah, very good. It occurred to us that might have been the case here. And if you say, well, Peterson didn't face the requisite 3 hitters, there's a ground ball to Mookie Betts, shallow right field off the bat of Nicky Lopez. He throws him out, and that does the inning. But this early in spring, you don't have to face 3 hitters. Not just yet. Anyway, Michael Grove gets out of the inning, and we've played 2.5. It's a 1-0 White Sox lead. take a look at teams with 3 former MVPs to hit 1, 2, 3 at the top of the order in a game. The last team, the 1983 Phillies, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan in there, and they were also involved in the '78 Reds, the Big Red Machine. And Pete Rose involved in that a number of times, so was Joe Morgan. And then now the 2024 Dodgers will have 3 former MVPs at the top of the batting order. Jose Ramos, center fielder, number 9 hitter leading up. Mookie Betts on deck. We'll get back to the top of the order in a moment. Justin Anderson, right-hander, takes over for the White Sox. And we take a look at that list. Joe Schmidt was the other guy with the Phillies. George Foster, it just happened one time. And '76 also. Johnny Bench was the 3rd one. It doesn't happen often. The 1996 Red Sox had 3, but they didn't bat 1, 2, 3. It was Mo Vaughn, Kevin Mitchell, and Jose Canseco, 3 former MVPs, but they batted consecutively in another part of the order. Just not at the top. Ramos looks at the ball low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. You look at that list, though, Mo. How many Hall of Famers?
Oh, my goodness. Those are some tough outs right there.
Yeah. And Ramos walks, so man aboard for Mookie Betts. And now the buzz around the ballpark comes back as the top of the order is up. Well, one thing that's going to be a challenge for the opposition is game planning for these guys. Opposition pitchers will not get a break with the Dodger lineup. Anderson's pitch. And breaking ball in for a strike.
Well, with Ohtani on deck, Ohtani also interrupted the lives of a few people. Of course, there was that rumor that he was on a jet going from the LA area to Toronto, and there was an offshoot of that story as well.
Oh, 1 pitch. That's inside.
Because here's the plane it's supposedly going. Well, if you're looking at the Blue Jays, Alex Manoah was getting married that day. As he is walking down the aisle, some of his teammates who flew into Puerto Rico for his weddings told him, "We didn't get Ohtani."
Mookie grabs it into right field. Ramos turns second, heads to third, and there'll be runners at the corners for Shohei.
And here he is. He even interrupted a wedding. You imagine that. Alex Manoah's walking down the aisle and some of his teammates whisper to him, "We didn't get Ohtani."
And how about all the media members in Toronto who were waiting at the airport, and they were disappointed when he didn't get off the plane. So here's Ohtani. 2 on and nobody out. His second at bat in spring training as a Dodger against Justin Anderson. And he rips it down on the right side. Lopez grabs it onto second for 1, and he hits into the twin kill. But coming in to score and tying the game is Ramos. It's 1-1.
I'll tell you what, if we can get a look on the television side on this simulcast, just the swing. I mentioned earlier about the fact there is no stride. He lifts up the right heel. He pivots on the toe. But watch, the stride is about 3 or 4 inches, and he absolutely hammered that pitch.
Pitch to Freddie Freeman. Interesting note on that leg kick that he used to have. When he first came over, he kind of, I wouldn't say struggled, that'd be the wrong word, but he didn't do as well until he got rid of the leg kick. And it just so happened by coincidence that he stopped using it during the Freeway Series against the Dodgers in 2018. Freddie Freeman's hit by a pitch. Been on to first, 2 down.
Well, Tim, I can tell you this. The first time that we saw Ohtani was in the Freeway Series, his initial year with the Angels. And he was overmatched is not a fair word, but he looked lost, and I understand why. New ball club, new surroundings, new language, new culture. This was totally new to him, but he looked like he was well behind in spring training. Well, that only lasted a couple of days.
Will Smith at the plate, swings at a breaking ball, fouls it back.
But we looked at him as the timing was late. Of course, you know, it was spring training. Yes, Freeway Series, opening of the season, knocking right on the door. But he just looked confused. Well, now pitchers are confused on trying to get him out.
Freeman leads at first, 2 out, 0-1. Up high to Will. 1 ball, 1 strike. Will grounded out to Mike Moustakas at third base in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Ohtani grounding into a double play, but a run scoring to tie the ball game up. You don't always want to trade 2 for 1, but I guess if you tie the ball game or take the lead, you consider it a fair trade. Stretching the 1-1 pitch to Will Smith. This one's belted in the air, twisting toward right center field. On the way to get it, Kevin Pillar. He can cover some ground. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. Dodgers get a run, 1 hit, 1 left. On to the 4th. Dodgers 1, White Sox 1. The first 40,000 fans in attendance at Dodger Stadium March 30th receive a Freddie Freeman bobblehead presented by Bank of America. For tickets and information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 1-1 Dodgers and White Sox, top of the 4th inning. Eloy Jimenez will be the batter, the designated hitter. He had an RBI double for Chicago's first time up. Smacks this one into slight right center field. Ramos there to cut it off and hold him to a very long single. So Jimenez not waiting around as he goes after Michael Grove.
You know, the other thing we're seeing, Tim, is that Ramos limited action, but he has played a very quick outfield of what we have seen to this particular point. Interesting to watch.
Getting a look. I mean, he's got a lot of tools. He'd be considered, I guess scouts would call him a toolsy kind of player, right? He's got a great arm. He's got a very good throwing arm. That's the report on him. He can run. He can defend. He's been hitting the ball. He had a home run Saturday against the Angels over in Tempe. I mean, he's got some tools, and the Dodgers are letting him put him on display here in the A games, if you will. Andrew Vaughn with a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, admittedly, I do watch center fielders a little bit more closely.
Why would you do that?
Conversation this offseason, someone asked me, who was from Great Britain. I understand he played baseball in the center field. What does a center fielder do? And I said, we chase down pitchers' mistakes.
Ball is looped down the line and it drops fair. Hayward's going to have to play it. He can't get to it. It took a right turn and jumped over the wall. That'll be a ground rule double. So Andrew Vaughn will pull into second base. Automatic double there, and runners at second and third, and nobody out. of a sudden, the White Sox threatening here in the fourth. Well, that is a way that a position player would certainly look at it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if a pitcher would agree with you.
No, no. Nor would I expect them to.
Probably ask you why you didn't catch a few balls. Ball was 100 yards away from you. Why didn't you catch it? It's Mike Moustakas. Second and third, nobody out. Grove's pitch outside.
No, the conversation was, well, was not familiar with the game of baseball. Center field, what do you do? Chase down pitchers' mistakes, which led to the next question. What's a pitcher?
That's like a bowler in cricket.
Yes.
Yeah. 2-0. You know, I've had that discussion the opposite way. Like, I had somebody try to explain cricket to me one time, and I just didn't get it.
Did it take as long to explain it as it does to play it?
I don't know, because I know it can take a long time. That's one thing I did get out of that discussion. It could take days to play one match. 3-1 now to Moustakas. Michael Grove out of Wheeling, West Virginia. Pitched collegiately at the University of West Virginia. WVU, West Virginia University is the proper way to say that. He's a Mountaineer. Told this story before, but he was a hockey player. Played baseball for fun, turned it into his profession. And the pitch. Hey, he gets him swinging. And down on strikes goes Moustakas.
Well, that's the advantage of getting ahead in the count early and then being able to come back and put a bend to it. Down out of the strike zone. It looks good as a hitter to begin with. It's on that same plane. All of a sudden you begin to commit and realize, uh-oh.
The infield will come in now with one out. Paul DeYoung, shortstop, waves and misses. DeYoung was in a Cardinal uniform for a number of years. No more Tim Anderson at short for the White Sox. He is now with the Marlins. Stroke to left, and chasing after it is Hernandez, and that ball is into the bullpen and gone. A 3-run laser beam home run for Paul DeYoung. And the White Sox will jump back in front. It is a 4-1 ball game.
And DeYoung didn't waste any time first offering. And DeYoung, you go back to last year. This is going to be a feel-good moment because he really struggled last year. He bounced back and forth with 3 organizations. He started in St. Louis, went to Toronto, then to San Francisco, and hit just barely above the Mendoza line at 207.
Base is clear, 1 out. And Oscar Colas, the right fielder, strikeout victim, swinging in the second inning. 0 for 1. And the right-hander Grove back to work. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Colas.
Colas up and down a few different times. Actually started the season in right field, sent to AAA.
The ground ball to short, couple of steps to his right is Miguel Rojas, fires on to first, and Colas is out. 2 men gone for Kevin Pillar. Kevin Pillar, always a guy who can go chase down a ball in the outfield. No
I'm
doubt.
about to say that you're talking about center fielders and elite center fielders.
He swings and fouls it off to the right and way out of play. Sacrifices the body too. I remember one time he was with the Blue Jays. I saw him dive for a ball. Made the catch, broke his sternum several years back. I mean, you can appreciate how, you know, you dove for a lot of baseballs. I mean,
You know, sometimes you
That's gotta
dive
hurt.
and it's like the next day you get out of bed and you realize the back of your neck really hurts because if you land hard. And I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, Pillar makes not just good catches. Can you imagine when he retires, they should be able to give him a video of all the tremendous catches that he has made.
1-2 pitch from Grove in the dirt.
I think he's probably been taken out to dinner a lot by his pitchers.
Michael Grove giving up the home run to Paul DeJong. That's something that has bitten him a little bit, is the home run ball. 18 home runs allowed in his big league career, 98 1/3 innings, which gives him a home runs per 9 of 1.6 home runs per 9 innings pitched. It's on the high side. 3-2 to Pilar. Payoff pitch drilled foul and out of play down the left side. Pilar was in the Dodger organization briefly last year. 3-2 pitch. Way up high, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the elevated fastball. Gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the 3-run home run by Paul DeJong, the big difference. 4-1 White Sox after 3.5. Four runs on 5 hits for Chicago. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Max Muncy to lead off against veteran right-hander Jesse Chavez, who has been with practically every team in baseball. He is the ageless wonder. Was with the Dodgers in 2016. Michael Grove talking things over in the dugout after an inning which he gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Max Muncy. Max with a base hit and was stranded at 3rd in the 2nd inning. Takes a healthy cut and misses here. 1-2. Facing Jesse Chavez last year with the Braves. The Braves, Cubs, Rangers. You could list fewer teams that he hasn't played with than he has. Angels, A's, Blue Jays. Who am I missing? Pirates. And Max strikes out looking. Max took a pretty good pitch. Well, Chavez is a non-roster invite to the White Sox camp, trying to make the club. Again, as a non-roster guy, he knows how to get guys out. Been doing it for a lot of years. Facing Teoscar Hernandez with 1 down and nobody aboard. He doesn't have overpowering stuff or anything like that.
Doesn't. You don't have to. You do not. have to throw it through that proverbial brick wall all the time.
1-0's outside, 2-0. Got the pitch comm device on his glove. Looked like he called the pitch. So sometimes you'll see the catcher calling the pitch with pitch comm, and your pitcher will either shake him off or agree. But in this case, Chavez has the device on the back of his glove, and he's just telling the catcher what's coming. And he called strike one there. 3-1 now to Hernandez. Amazing how quick pitch comm has been adapted into the mainstream of the game. At first it was kind of an anomaly. Some guys didn't want to use it, but now pretty much everybody uses it, and it's like no big deal.
Yeah. You know something else has become not a big deal? We have not talked one time so far about the larger bases that came into being last year. We no longer refer to them as white pizza boxes.
No, because you know what? Everybody adapted to that really well. Now this year the running lane at first is a little wider, but the bases that hasn't been a big deal.
The game of baseball has continued to evolve, not just recently. If you look at the history of the game, designated hitter was first proposed by the National League back in 1938, voted down by the American League.
3-2, and Hernandez slowly past the pitcher's mound. Shortstop DeYoung picks it up, gets to first in time, and retires Teoscar.
So now the designated hitter used by both leagues. The wonderful improvements and changes have been, and also on the field, to protect players and keep them on the field.
Chavez facing Jason Hayward, who bangs this one toward the right field wall, and it's going to be caught on the run by Oscar Colas. Well, Hayward stung it, but Colas got in the way out there, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Dodgers. We'll go to the fifth. 4-1 Chicago. Left-hander Matt Gage on the mound now for the Dodgers as we start the fifth inning. 31-year-old. Upstate New York. 34 appearances in AAA last year. And with the Houston organization, Toronto before that. And he'll whistle one in there for a strike to the right-handed hitting catcher for the White Sox, Max Stassi. Gage is kicking a pitch. That's up here. We talked about it yesterday a little bit more with the Dodgers don't have a ton of lefties. So there's a number of left-handers vying for bullpen spots. And Gage trying to get himself in the mix.
And trying to make sure that the roster has pretty good balance, in particular with the bullpen. I mean, exactly. You come to camp this year with the Dodgers, you're a left-handed pitcher, and you say, hey, wait a minute, I've got a chance to make this team. Now the question is how well you do during camp.
He gets a strikeout here of Stassi. Got him to chase one up high, and that is strikeout number 1 for Matt Gage.
Well, this will open some eyes also. You come in, you do your job, bottom of the order, yes, but with pitchers, the reason spring training lasts so long is that you don't want to really force the arms, trying to avoid injuries of the pitchers.
Dominic Fletcher, the batter.
You know, position players, they don't take as long. Of course, you know, now guys come into camp in shape, not necessarily playing shape. Freddie Freeman saying just the other day, talking to Kirsten Watson, said, hey, look, yeah, I worked out during the off season, but finally get into game situations. Look, some of the muscles are barking.
It's hard to replicate it. You can't really replicate game action.
Well, you can't replicate adrenaline. And you get on the field and all of a sudden, boom, now it's reactionary. You're not thinking, well, I'm going to work on side steps to my left and to my right. No, it's instinctive.
0-2 pitch to Fletcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I know I mentioned Tim Anderson earlier. It's just odd seeing somebody else wearing number 7 for the White Sox. He had worn it for a pretty good chunk of time. But Fletcher's got it now. He fouls one back, and that's out of play. Gage last year spent the bulk of his season in the Pacific Coast League with the Sugarland Skeeters, AAA club of the Astros in Texas. He's also pitched in a few different spots in Mexico, including Mazatlan. Tough place to have to go work, huh?
Well, it's a tough place to have to tear yourself away from whatever you're doing to go to work.
I know. Somehow you manage. 2-2 to Dominic Fletcher. Gage deals, and he gets a swinging strikeout. He has faced 2, struck them both out. Second spring training appearance for Gage, and he's looking pretty good so far. His first outing was against the Angels on Saturday. Gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. He struck out 1, so he's already doubled his strikeout total here in the Cactus League. Danny Mendick is now coming in for Nicky Lopez here in the 5th inning. Going to hit for him. So Mendick's first plate appearance. Start to see some different players come in at this point in the game. Breaking ball, yanked foul down the third base side. So how did Gage become a Dodger? Well, he was with the Yankees. February 5th, the Dodgers got him in a trade. Another interesting left-hander we could see today. We were expecting to see him. That's Justin Wilson, a veteran lefty that the Dodgers quietly picked up. We would expect to see him at some point today. One and 2 to Danny Mendick. Gage kicks, fires, and a 1-2 hit on the ground to third. Muncy gobbles it up, sends it across the infield to first base, and it is a 1-2-3 top of the 5th for Matt Gage. Good outing for the lefty. 4-1 White Sox. 2024 season ticket memberships now on sale. All memberships include exclusive access to opening day postseason tickets, exclusive member-only events, team store discounts, and so much more. Visit Dodgers.com/membership. Miguel Rojas facing Dominic Leone, former Tiger, former Met, former Angel, former Mariner. Right arm will travel. A busy season traveling last year. Rojas had that one come right up and get him in the helmet. Maybe the face first. Oh yeah.
Well, hit right off the edge of the plate.
Got him in the nose and opened him up a little. If it hits the dirt, it's not going to come up like that, but the plate, that's going to trampoline and get you.
Well, you know, we have said, and I think everyone has said over the years, a tough at bat. Well, how about the fact you just fouled one off your nose and you're standing up there with a bat, you're bleeding, it still smarts, and it counts 0-2.
Well, now you got to get a hit, right? Protect the plate. He did so with his nose already. Let's see what Rojas has in store here. 0-2, and it's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Miggy's been, you know, nothing but a great team guy, really, in the clubhouse, and he takes the rookies out shoe shopping each year with the teams that he's been on. They'll go on a particular road trip where they know they've got some good shoe stores that they like, mostly sneakers, and he'll take the guys out shopping. They had a chicken wing eating contest a week or so ago, and he was front and center there too. Pops this one up to the first base side, and there is Andrew Vaughn under it to make the catch. It's a tough at bat, as you mentioned, Mo, and Rojas, with what he knows, is out.
Absolutely.
Jose Ramos coming up. A couple of changes for the White Sox defensively. Danny Mendick, who pinch hit last half inning, stays in the game at second base, and Corey Lee is now the new catcher. Ramos walked and scored the lone Dodger run. Wave and a miss. Now, one of the tasks that Ramos had last year was to cut down his strikeout rate and increase his walk rate, and he did both of those things in the minor leagues. The Dodgers walk a lot. The Padres walked a little bit more last year, but the top 2 teams in terms of receiving walks were the Padres and Dodgers last year. And so that's part of the system. Learn how to get on base. Doesn't matter how you get there. Just get on.
You know the strike zone. The Dodgers had 644 walks last year.
2 balls and a strike to Ramos. Mookie Betts on deck. And a strike. On top of the order. Waiting to come up. 1 out, nobody on. Two balls, 2 strikes. Veteran left-hander Dominic Leone on the, or rather right-hander Dominic Leone on the hill. Throws one inside low. Ramos has worked a deep count. 3-2. The stretch. Leone on the third base side of the rubber. The payoff is bounced down to third. That is going to be a really tough play for Moustakas. He won't make it, and that's a base hit. Ramos with an infield single. He drove Moustakas to his backhand side right near the line, and by the time he gathered his feet underneath him, he had no chance to make a good throw to get Ramos.
No chance at all. Moustakas just saves a double by being able to make that play. Took it way over into foul territory.
So Ramos gets on in front of Mookie Betts. Betts is having himself a really good start to the spring. He's 1 for 2 today, and he is not afraid to go to the opposite field. He's been using the whole field. Takes the ball outside.
And that's a good thing also for another reason is that a high percentage, as Ohtani is waiting on deck, a high percentage of the strikeouts in Mookie Betts the last couple of years have been pitches away.
Pitch two.
And the target is away right here.
Betts swings, hits a high fly ball to right. This will be playable for Colas. And it was a little bit more of an adventure than maybe Colas thought. Somebody put a tent over that circus out there, right?
Well, routine moved into tentative.
Yeah. But he was able to make the play. And here is Ohtani, and what will more than likely be his final at bat today in his Dodger debut.
There's a lot to look at. Excuse me, Tim, but again, very short stride, a weight transfer, but he is so big and strong. It's amazing.
So much media attention when he took his first batting practice, live BP. Media members counting the number of swings he took and then the number of home runs he took. I believe the first one was 21 swings, 10 home runs, and that became national and international news. 0-1 to Ohtani. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, as an observation, Ohtani is one of those few players that when he is about to come up, no one leaves their seat. The aisles are empty.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's low, 2-1. One thing to keep in mind, he said he wanted to have 50 at bats this spring, but a lot of those at bats will be counted on the back fields. Last year for the Angels, he took 11 at bats in the Cactus League games. All the rest of the at bats he took were out back. So we don't know how many he's going to have here. He swings and misses, and now the count 2-2.
Looked at a couple of numbers of Ohtani where pitchers started to try and get to him. He handled the ball out away from him exceptionally well. The ball inside on his hands at times problematic.
2-2 is a little bit up.
But even when Ohtani takes batting practice, and I had heard this from Dodger personnel even during the offseason, every time he goes to home plate, whether it be batting practice, everything is precise.
Ramos has to dive back. A quick throw over by Leon. Ramos will run with the pitch. Dave Roberts saying he's. Oh, that gets away from Vaughn, and down to second base goes Ramos. I don't think that was a bad throw. I think Vaughn just clanked it.
Well, you got 3-2, and obviously you got some attention. Yeah, the ball was caught, tried to make the slap tag, and the ball just flew out of the glove.
3-2 to Shohei Ohtani as Leon stretches and comes to the plate now. Swung on, hit high in the air to left and deep. This ball carrying. This ball is gone. It is Dodger debut. Shohei Ohtani brings them to their feet. A 2-run home run. That's what they've been waiting for. Show me the way.
I just talked about the power that he has. Watch him lift this ball. Very short stride, lift the ball. It just kept going.
Well, that is a strong man right there. And Freddie goes the other way. This one's deep, but not deep enough. To the lip of the track, it'll be caught by Fletcher. Well, showtime, and he gave him a show. Ohtani with a 2-run homer. Shohei Ohtani's afternoon is done, and he's hurrying to get back to the clubhouse or the hitting lab, one or the other. But man, this one hit off the end of the bat. Just an absolute majestic fly ball to the opposite field. And a 2-run shot for Shohei.
And a souvenir. The bat speed is off the charts.
Blake Trinan is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Some other changes we'll tell you about. A pitch clock violation to Trinan. So it'll be 1 ball and no strikes to the White Sox hitter. Trinan been dealing with injuries, but feels pretty good this year. Reports are good. Gavin Sheets is batting for Eloy Jimenez in the designated hitter spot for the White Sox. Gavin Sheets been around a few years. Just getting back to that Ohtani home run for a second. Keep in mind, last year, 44 home runs for him, right? How many do you think went to the opposite field out of the 44?
I know the answer, so I have to disqualify myself.
You're disqualified. Well, you can give the answer if you'd like.
Go for it.
2. He had 42 home runs that were not to the opposite field. Only 2. So what we've just seen here today is a little bit rare for him. And a sign of things to come in his debut season with the Dodgers. First year of a 10-year deal. And what we hope are a lot of remarkable moments during the course of the season. Dave Roberts today was talking about how exciting it was to write Shohei's name in the lineup card. There's a base hit to right for Sheets. A leadoff single off of Blake Trinan. Kevin Padlo, the new first baseman. Austin Gauthier is over at second base. Chris Owings is at third. And in the outfield for the Dodgers, Ryan Ward is in left, Drew Avans in center. Those are the changes right now. And Andrew Vaughn, third time up, had a double and a run scored in the 4th inning. Well, for Blake Trinan, he hopes this can be some sort of a bounce back for him. Again, he's been dealing with a number of issues injury wise. He had shoulder surgery in November of 2022. And that kept him out all of last year. He did pitch in the minor leagues a little bit, but that was a problem.
His big pitch when he is healthy. The slider has been just absolutely dominating.
He hopes he's behind the shoulder problems.
Well, if you go back, Trinan in 2021, before the shoulder issue, before the surgery, the slider, they didn't even hit 100 against him.
No, it was devastating.
Yeah.
It wasn't even fair. There it is right there.
Yeah.
And he got him to strike out. Andrew Vaughn had a great seat for that slider.
And Vaughn's going back and says, that ain't fair. So that slider, I mean, in 2021, hitters were 7 hits in 95 at bats, an .074 average against.
On top of the 6th, the 4-3 game. White Sox ahead of the Dodgers.
Boy, Trinan is healthy. It has that slider. There it is again.
Yeah, his slider can be nasty. That could be a great weapon for the Dodgers. Again, working his way back from a long layoff. Runner at first, 1 out. Moustakas the hitter, third baseman. And the pitcher delivers home. And Trinan gets a swinging strike.
And for those on the TV side, nice to see that center field shot that Miguel Rojas, bloody nose and all, is still in the game at shortstop.
He's a gamer. Got a little extra medical gear in the nostril.
Playing hurt and still attending to it.
Oh, and 2 to Moustakas, popped up, backing out of play. Well, so far so good for Treinen. You gotta love seeing the slider with the break that it's got on it. And the more he can have success with that, the better it is for this ball club. At one point, he was the closer for the Nationals. He's always been a late inning reliever. And his kick and pitch is fisted up in the air, and Treinen going after it. He makes the catch. The third baseman Owings just too far away, but alertly Treinen went after it and made the catch, and they are now 2 down.
Yep, a jam shot.
Two out, a runner aboard. Paul DeYoung, who had the 3-run home run against Michael Grove in the 4th inning, is up. Ball is sliced down the right field line a long way for a loud strike.
You know, he gets lost in the shuffle. You mentioned before, but DeYoung, 3 different stops last year: St. Louis, Toronto, San Francisco. Especially for the Mary guys. I mean, do you move your family? You have to find living accommodations.
Slider, did he check it? He did. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sounds easy.
Well, if you keep hitting the ball like that, you don't have to get traded.
Well, he made it look easy, hitting the home run on the first pitch that he saw in the 4th inning.
Yeah, this one popped up and playable. First baseman Padlo coming in. He calls off Will Smith. Kind of a better angle on it. He makes the catch. Side retired, and good work for Blake Treinen. He gets a strikeout, gives up a hit, strands a man. Head to the home half of the 6th inning. 4-3 White Sox. Fans be at Dodger Stadium Monday, April 1st for Fernando Valenzuela Jersey Night, sponsored by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Number 34, he had a big summer last year, and that's his retired number 34. Nobody wore it after he pitched, and nobody will ever wear it again. Chad Kuhl, last year with the Nationals, right-hander out there to face Will Smith. 4-3 White Sox. Dodger half of the 6th inning. Along with Rick Monday, I'm Tim Neverett. Kirsten Watson with us on the radio TV simulcast from Glendale. Kuhl deals down and away. 2 balls, no strikes to Will. Smith 0 for 2, grounded to third in the second inning, flying to center in the third. He swings and fouls it back. 2 balls and a strike. Walker Buehler took another step forward today, pitched a live batting practice. Don't have the results. We were over here starting the game when he was just about ready to do it, but that's a good sign when you see that. Facing hitters. Not expected to start on time for opening day or anything like that, but you know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and certainly if you can add an arm like Walker Buehler's and then later in the summer you add an arm like Clayton Kershaw's.
It was dearly missed last year postseason.
3-2 to Will. Oh, strike 3 call in the outside corner. Will thought it was ball 4. He is sort of stunned right now. He strikes out looking, and there's 1 out.
On the TV side, you'd be the ump. Ball.
Here's Ryan Ward. Ward's had a good spring. He and Freddie Freeman are the leading RBI guys on the Dodgers with 4 each so far in Cactus League play. So Ward's had a good start. He had a bases clearing double Saturday in Tempe against the Angels. Another RBI hit after that. He fouls this one away. And he's in the hole, nothing at 2.
A double hit against the Angels over in Tempe. Hit it down the right field line. Talk about hitting it hard. My goodness.
An RBI double yesterday against the Rockies over in Scottsdale. On what was our longest road trip of the season, the spring season, if you can believe it.
I can.
How long did it take you to get there?
45.
How long did it take you to get back?
120.
Here's a 1-2. That's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ward.
They have that thing here now in Arizona, the Phoenix area, called traffic.
Yeah. Afternoon traffic. And construction, too. There's a little bit of construction. 2-2. A little poke roller to the left side. And going to be a tough play for Mendick, who's now at third, but he manages to get it over to first base. Tim Elko is the new first baseman for Chicago. And Ward is out 5-3. Some changes on the infield for the White Sox this half inning. Colson Montgomery is the new shortstop. Lennon Sosa is at second base. And one of the outfielders has changed. Fletcher is out, and Rafael Ortega is in left. Here's Chris Owings lobbing one into center field for a base hit. 2-out single. Owings at third base for the Dodgers. Jason Hayward, who had his spring debut yesterday in Scottsdale. Two days ago, I should say, not Scottsdale. I was back here against the A's on Sunday.
Hayward, when you look at him, he stands a long way from home plate. Of course, he's a big guy. I mean, he is a very big 6'5". He can extend his arms. Tremendous power.
Pitch to Hayward. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, you better be a big guy or dive into the ball that you're standing that far away off the plate to begin with. And still have plate coverage.
They covered the inner half last time up, lined out sharply and deep to left field. Swing and a miss here. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, he was a wonderful addition to this Dodger ball club a season ago. As you mentioned earlier, both on and off the field.
Pitch from Cool, in for a strike. Two-outs runner at first. Chris Owings represents the tying run in a 4-3 ball game, bottom of the 6th. And Hayward at the plate, waiting for the pitch from the right-hander. Here it comes. And he hits a ground ball. That is going to get through the hole on the left side. That's a base hit. Owings rounds second. He's on his way to third. And Hayward keeps the inning alive and moves the tying run to just 90 feet away. Runners at the corners.
And there's the outside corner, maybe a little bit out off the plate, but the coverage. I'm just hoping now that they can do a little bit better with runners in scoring position. They've not done a great job today as they have in the first 5 games of spring.
Hayward's going to come out. Travis Swaggerty's going to run for him. Here's Miguel Rojas. Just a note on Hayward. Think about this, Mo. You want to talk about a renaissance year for him last year. He had 15 home runs. You say, okay, well, that's all right. But consider this. The 15 home runs for Hayward matched his total from the previous 3 seasons combined. Iggy pops this one up on the infield left side. Mendick, the third baseman, running down the line. He'll make the catch. And the side will be retired. 2 men are left on after 2 hits. On to the 7th inning. White Sox 4, Dodgers 3. Today was must-see TV, so is tomorrow. Yoshinobu Yamamoto will start against the world champion Texas Rangers over in Surprise tomorrow. It'll be your first look at Yamamoto in game action. The 25-year-old has been getting rave reviews from a lot of veteran players who have faced him in batting practice, and we'll get a look at him tomorrow for the first time. He's won multiple Sawamura Awards, which is the equivalent to the Cy Young Award. Won multiple pitching triple crowns in Japan. Gavin Stone, second spring appearance. Facing Oscar Colas, the right fielder. Stone started the opener against the Padres last Thursday. Stone out of the pen, kicks and fires. And that one kicks away from the new catcher, Chris Oakey. Some other defensive changes for the Dodgers. Trey Sweeney is out at short. And Travis Swaggerty is in right field. And Colas 0 for 2 this afternoon. 2 balls and a strike. What are you looking forward to tomorrow seeing Yamamoto?
I think that the pitches, the movement of the pitches, that's one of the things that I've been hearing.
Strike 2 to Colas.
The other part too is that, you know, and it's really unfair, but we'll do it anyway, is that you put the magnifying glass on the players. You put it today on Shohei Ohtani. His third at bat, all he does is hit a 2-run home run. But you're looking to see, hey, the billboard numbers and what people have done.
Out on strikes.
And it's unfair because this is practice. This is practice to get into competition. It's just practice. It's like a scrimmage against another team. More appropriate scenarios, calling a scrimmage, and especially the first week or 10 days.
Changeup strikes out Colas, and now Kevin Pillar, who struck out swinging his last time up in the 4th inning, takes high ball 1. 4-3. White Sox leading the Dodgers, top of the 7th inning. There's the kick to 1-0. Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Sweeney. Long throw to first. Padlo stretch, and it's pulled his foot off the bag. Boy, Sweeney with a quick release on a difficult ball to handle it short. Throw just off the mark.
Yeah, we've seen Sweeney now going to his left and to his right in the limited action to this particular point. Tough play. Even more difficult, you go that far, and to be able to go towards the third base bag and still get something in the throw is rather remarkable.
Yep, couldn't keep the foot on there, but still was not a routine play for Sweeney. So that'll be a base hit for Pillar, who runs well anyway. And now Corey Lee, the catcher, took over for Max Stassi. Stassi had 2 at bats, went 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That one's in the dirt.
Oh, nice stop also.
And Chris Oakey back behind the plate.
We talked about the catching a couple of days ago. Catcher's down on their knee, but Oakey, he's able to slide out a little bit. We've not seen that consistently with a lot of catchers, even at the major league level.
Oakey, a Floridian from Eustis, and caught collegiately at Clemson. He's with the Reds organization. Last year with the Angels, but came up through the Reds organization. Had just 2 appearances with the big club. Runner goes, pitch fouled at the plate, and spent the bulk of the season in AAA Salt Lake.
For Gavin Stone, by the way, you start to look at the changeup. That was the really big pitch for him. A lot of swing and misses. Over 40% swing and miss at the off speed.
Stone, a 5th rounder during the 2020 draft. Deals up high. That'll fill up the count.
41.4% to be exact, the swing and miss. Is that good? Well, the league average was just under 25% swing and miss at the changeup.
3-2. That is low ball 4, and he's walked Corey Lee. And now the White Sox with 2 on and 1 out. Colson Montgomery will come up. He is the shortstop. It'll be his first plate appearance this afternoon. Three levels last year, rookie ball. Went to Advanced A and then to Double A in Birmingham. Birmingham Barons. They have been a long-time affiliate of the White Sox. Gavin Stone, remember last August 27th, got his first win of his career, and it was at Fenway Park against Boston. Pitch gets away from Oakey, play in front of him, a difficult throw down to third, knocked down by Owings. Well, runners move up.
Oakey's been busy behind the plate. It's already blocked one, could not block this one. A nice play also. The Owings at third, that saved a run. Did not get past him.
A wild pitch. 2 balls, no strikes to Montgomery. Infield drawn in now for the Dodgers. Those are some shades Montgomery's got on. And this one up in the air and to left center. Getting underneath the Drew Avens. He'll make the catch. Runner will tag. He'll throw over the head of the cutoff man, the shortstop Sweeney. But a run comes in. It's now 5-3 White Sox. Sacrifice fly by Montgomery.
So the wild pitch plays large and sets up the sacrifice fly.
We were looking at Montgomery's sunglasses. They look more like ski goggles, but it seems like some of the glasses are getting bigger and bigger every year. Danny Mendick. He'll take a strike. Did you ever bat with sunglasses?
No.
But you wore the flip down shades on the field, right?
The flip down, because I felt that the flip downs, you can get them much darker.
Opposite field, club to right. Swaggerty on his way back. He'll make the catch. And that will retire the side. Stretch time, middle of the 7th at Camelback Ranch, Glendale. 5-3 White Sox. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3 White Sox. Just a few moments ago, Kirsten and the rest of the media caught up with today's leading man, Shohei Ohtani.
Well, Shohei, just first getting out there, Cactus League debut. Was this a big step for you today?
今日久々の試合でしたけど、これ大きなステップでしたか。
そうです。まず予定通りに出れたということと、終われたっていうのが一番良かったかなと思います。
Definitely a big first step, and the biggest thing was I was able to finish off the game and without any problems.
Yeah, but also to get the results, the home run. I mean, what did you see from the pitch, and was that just another positive kind of reward of understanding where you're at when it comes to your elbow and just your swing right now?
しっかり結果もホームランっていう風に結果を出して、腕とかスイングとかリハビリの方も順調という風に見ていいんでしょうか。
そうですね。打席重ねるごとに反応も良かったかなとは思うので、徐々にですけど良くなってたかなと思います。
Yeah, definitely felt good at the plate. I felt better each time I got up. So second more than one, third more than two. So we're trending in the right direction.
Shohei, did you think it was going out when you hit it?
瞬間はいと思いました。
いや、ちょっと高いかなと思ったので、アリゾナでどうかなっていうところだったかなと思います。
I thought I hit a little too high initially, but maybe the Arizona factor in a little bit.
Any nerves, like just understanding the excitement that was going to sort of come with this being your first game wearing this uniform?
ヨザーズの一日として初めての試合で緊張とかそういうのはあったんでしょうか。
緊張はなかったですね、スプリントトレーニングなので、まだそういう段階ではないかなと思いますし、自分の調整がまず一番大事かなと思います。
Not really any nerves because it's just a spring training game, but I'm just more focused on getting ready for the season and do what I got to do.
How do you feel about hitting second in the batting order?
2番どういうふうに捉えてます？
初めてなのででもやること自体は変わらずに、もうストライクだけしっかり自分のスイングをするっていうシンプルなところが一番かなと思います。
I mean, today was obviously the first time, so can't really tell you much about it, but well, no matter where I'm hitting in the lineup, I'm not really going to change my approach.
Do you have to see different? Do you think pitchers will be more in the zone with you if you have somebody like Freddie hitting behind you?
フレディみたいなバッターが後ろでプロテクトしてくれることによってストライクが増えると思いますか？
どうなんですかね、立ってみないともちろんわからないですし、もちろん素晴らしい。
Oh my God. Are you okay?
You okay?
Okay. Hopefully he's okay. Sorry.
前後でウキもフレディもまたそれ以降もいいバッターもちろんなので、どう変わっていくのかなっていうのももちろん楽しみですし、一打席一打席自分を勉強しながら対応しています。
Yeah, I mean, today was the first game. It's hard to tell, but I definitely think it's going to help out. It's not just Freddie. You got Mookie in front of me and a bunch of great hitters past Freddie. So I'm excited to find out how it's going to feel like.
Shohei, what does this game feel like compared to your very first game in spring training with the Angels?
エンジェルスのキャンプデビュー戦と比べてどうでした今日は？
あの時はもう何がどういうふうに進んでいくのかっていうのは全く分からなかったので、その時とはまた全然違うかなと思います。
It's obviously a lot different because 6 years ago or 7 years ago, I had no idea what I was really doing. But now, kind of got the hang of it, so it's a lot different than back then.
Shohei, when you visited San Francisco, what did you think of the team officials, the city of San Francisco, and did you consider signing with the Giants?
He's not going to talk about any contract stuff. He's only going to talk about the game. Sorry.
Did you notice? I mean, obviously you noticed. What did you say? You're not going to.
He's not going to talk about any free agent stuff anymore. It's only about the game.
I mean, you're used to fans lining up and saying hello and stuff, but this was a new team, a new fan base. It looked like you waved to a few of them. Did you take notice of it? You know, them lining up and everything.
慣れてると思うんですけど、今日もいろんなファンが列を作ってサインとか求めてましたけど、ロジャーズでそういう光景を見てどういうふうに思いますか？
今日もたくさんの人を見に来てもらって声援もすごく多かったですし、何よりもチーム関係なくまずこの時期に、こうやってまた戻ってこれて、手術もありましたけど順調に戻ってこれて、まずそれが一番今日良かったかなと思います。
Yeah, definitely felt the energy of the crowd and the fans, and really appreciate it. And I'm just really happy that I was able to make it back on time, so I could play in front of the fans.
Thanks, guys. Now, Japanese vision. Thank you.
Where's NHK?
All right, translator Ippei Mizuhara. We'll see lots of Ippei this year, so get used to Ippei being around. He's with him with the Angels, and a couple of things we'll talk about. I'll break that down for you, but that little disturbance during there, a camera person fell. That's what they were looking at, but he seems to be okay from all reports. Gauthier is thrown out. Oh, he's safe. Ball 4. Never mind. We're trying to catch up. Hunter Fiducia walks. He's the designated hitter in Ohtani's spot. So now 2 on and 1 out, and the Dodgers with the tying run first. Well, David Vassay asking a question I think inquiring minds wanted to know. Did you think he got it? Did you think he had enough? And he said no. He said he thought he hit it too high.
Thought he hit it too high is what I talked about. Is it, a lot of pitchers that try to go inside to him a lot. Well, this one was just lifted. That weight transfer, very short stride. You have to be some kind of strong to lift the ball that far opposite way.
Yeah, amazing. You know, when he was coming out of high school and eligible for the NPB draft, the Japanese League's draft, he wanted to come to Major League Baseball, and he had told people not to draft him, but the Nippon Ham team, the Fighters, drafted him. They ended up signing him, and he started his pro career, and they were the ones that allowed him to both hit and pitch. A number of the other ball clubs reportedly were not going to allow him to do both. They wanted him to do one or the other. And he frankly at one point thought he would be doing one or the other, probably pitching. But he enjoys the hitting part of it as well, and I think you will, as fans, enjoy watching him do that.
Yeah, a lot of pitchers wish he had just stayed with pitching.
Yeah. Drew Avens is the batter for the Dodgers now. Again, 2 on, 1 out. 2-run lead for the White Sox. And Avens slaps it foul and out of play. But the fighters let him do that. And okay, the Nippon Ham Fighters, they are located in on the island of Hokkaido, which is north. It's in the city of Sapporo. And that's where Shohei started as a pro. And was absolutely dominant. Avens hits a high fly ball to right center. Ranging over is Payton, Mark Payton with the catch, and that'll get 1 runner over as Gauthier ends up at third. Gauthier, undrafted guy out of Hofstra, and looks like a pitching change. That's going to be it for Kuhl. And we'll take a pitching change timeout. 2 outs. Runners at the corners, bottom of the 7th. The White Sox lead the Dodgers 5-3. With 2 outs and 2 on for the White Sox in the bottom of the 7th inning. Along with Rick Monday, Tim Neverett with you, Kirsten Watson also, as we bring you the radio TV simulcast of the Dodgers and the White Sox. Hard to believe we're still in February, huh? I mean, we've had, look, this is game number 6. Still 2 more games in February.
Well,
because it's a leap year. And tomorrow afternoon over in the Surprise against the Texas Rangers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitching tomorrow. That's going to be a treat. So what's that, Wednesday? Yeah, and then Thursday, well, we'll look at the calendar in a little bit, but another busy weekend coming up. I think we've got some stuff under the lights too pretty soon. Chris Oakey, the catcher, is up. His first plate appearance. Did you bring your golf clubs?
No.
I saw your spring schedule. You barely have time to go to the range.
Yes, that's about it.
Busy guy. Well, you spend enough time in Arizona. You know enough people here. If you find yourself on a golf course, you can probably get a hold of some clubs.
Well, I could go to my old club that would belong here. I know how to sneak on.
Well, I'll hear about your golf game that one day you have off. 1-2 to Oakey. That's smacked into right center and a base hit. Gauthier will come in to score. Here comes Fiducia into third. It's now a 1-run ball game at 5-4.
Well, the Dodgers have done such a good job with runners in scoring position. However, this is their first hit this afternoon in that spot.
Ryan Ward has a couple of ducks on the pond. See what Ward can do here with 2 down and 2 on against the lefty in a left-on-left matchup. So 3 of the 4 Dodger runs have come with 2 outs. Last year they led baseball in 2-out runs. 369 2-out runs last year. Inning is never over, and Ward clubs it down the right field line. This ball is fair and off the wall. Tie game as Fiducia scores. They will hold Oki at third. Went over the wall. It's a ground rule double, so Oki can't go anywhere. And that's a brand new ball game. And Ryan Ward has just taken over the club lead in the spring in RBIs with 5.
I'll tell you, that is just a picture perfect swing against a firm front side. Absolutely hammers it.
Looked a lot like the one he hit in Tempe the other day, except this one jumped over the wall. Would have loved to have gotten it off the wall because Oki more than likely was going to score on that. That wasn't a ground rule double. Chris Owings, the veteran right-handed hitter. 1 for 1 today. Owings with a single in the 6th inning. A brand new ball game for the Dodgers here late. Owings fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes.
Look at the White Sox. We mentioned 101 losses last year. They had 49 blown lead losses. Only the Rockies and Royals had more. So late in the games, they were having some trouble.
2nd and 3rd, 2 down. The 0-2 high and away. A 5-5 game, bottom of the 7th inning. Pedro Grifol's team saw a lot of them get away last year.
Imagine that. 49 games, you have the lead, and you lose.
Well, that's bullpen. Bullpen and no clutch hitting.
Yeah, bullpen or lack thereof.
Right. So you go into the offseason and you say, okay, we have to address this issue. That was a pretty major issue for the White Sox. That's such a big chunk of games, too. 49 of them. 2-2. Owings lets it go, holds it up. They'll appeal at first base. He didn't go.
And the value of bullpens has increased and increased more because the limitations that are put on starting pitching, trying to keep them healthy. A check swing, able to hold it up.
Yeah, you're just not seeing the complete game very much anymore. So the bullpens are key. Ball inside, and the bases are full of Dodgers. Owings draws the 2-out walk. And a big chance here for Travis Swaggerty.
And a visit to the mound. So talking about the White Sox bullpen last year, their earned run average collectively 4.88. How is that? Well, if you list all the teams, they were 26th down the totem pole.
Swaggerty, who had been in the Pirates system up until this year. 250 in 314 minor league games, all the way up through AAA, where he was last year in Indianapolis. Third base Oakey, second base Ward, first base Owings. The pitch. Swaggerty, swinging strike. Facing Andrew Perez, the left-hander. Dodgers a chance to take the lead in a 5-5 game. As the backups are trying to get it done. Traffic on the bases and the pitch. Swaggerty pops this one up left field side. It is spinning, but will it stay in play? It will. It hits the top of the rain tarp. Third baseman Mendick rolls over the rain tarp, but he doesn't make the catch. Swaggerty with new life.
A degree of difficulty trying to make that catch. Very tough. They're trying to make sure you don't get caught in the netting.
This looks like a fish in the net. And he's back to his position, and an 0-2 count on Swaggerty with the bases full and 2 down. Perez, the lefty stretch, and the pitch. Oh, got him swinging. So Swaggerty strikes out, leaves him full, but the Dodgers do pick up a pair and tie this game after 7 innings. Dodgers 5, White Sox 5. Tomorrow the Dodgers at it with the world champion Rangers, noon Pacific time right here on Sportsnet LA. Then back to back under the lights in Goodyear on Thursday night, 5 o'clock. And then back here against the Guardians on Friday night. And there's Gavin Sheets facing Gavin Stone. Battle of the Gavins here.
Amateur umpire yelling it's inside on the called strike, the first pitch.
Maybe he had a better view. He thinks. 1-1. And a swing and a miss. Well, this year in the minor leagues, we're going to see another season of the challenge system. The ABS, which is the automatic ball strike. So Major League Baseball will be monitoring that again. They had a lot of success
robotic
with
umpire. Just go ahead and say it. Robotic umpire.
It's not, though. It's not taking it away from the home plate umpire. The challenge system, I think, Rick, when you see it, you're going to like it.
I'll get back to you on that.
I'm telling you, when I saw it in AAA, I saw it a couple of times over in Vegas last year. I was like, man, that is great. Strike 3 called as Sheets goes down looking. And a strikeout for Gavin Stone. I think you're going to like it. It takes no time at all. And the one thing that does on the scoreboard, it involves the fans. They get to see what we see up in the booth on a monitor.
Well, here's my question. If it's that good, why are there limitations on how often you can use it?
They're still working through the details before they bring it in the major leagues.
Just a question to throw out there.
Yeah, they're testing. So part of the week, what they did last year was part of the week, it would be full on. The umpire would listen to the ABS system, the automatic ball strike. And then the other part of the week, it would be the challenge system. So they're trying it both in the minor league level and see which one's best. I do think people favor the challenge from what I've heard, as opposed to the full-time ABS.
Well, the guy we heard from behind home plate just a few moments ago would agree with that. Yes.
I mean, I'm all for the home plate umpire, the human umpire calling the game. But if you can challenge and overturn some calls that are not very good, it might make a difference in the game. I don't know. We'll see. Rafael Ortega, the left fielder, fouls it away. But I'll be interested to see what your thought is when you actually see it, whether it's in a demonstration video, which I know that Major League Baseball has, or sometime in person.
Yeah, and I think that changes. At first we all have that knee-jerk reaction to begin with, but just look at the the recent ones. We talked earlier about the bases, the pitch clock. There's still a little talk about, well, the pitch clock has been reduced by a couple of seconds this year. A couple people are barking about that.
Pretty close pitch there.
What we have not seen, and the runner's lane, for those on the television side, the time between the pitches, 15 seconds and 18. If a runner on base or no one on base, 4 mound visits per game.
3-2 popped up. Shallow left center. Trey Sweeney backpedaling, but he's called off by the left fielder Ryan Ward. Will make the catch.
And another rule that was at the bottom of that list, as Dave Roberts going to come out, and very quickly, if you go out to warm up for an inning, you have to face at least one batter. And baseball trying to protect the fact of not using a pinch hitter that could get wasted in a game.
So pitching change as Gavin Stone will come out. 5-5 ball game. Top of the 8th, 2 down. Pretty good season in Great Lakes with the Loons. 248 average against. 38 strikeouts to 28 innings pitched. That's really one of the indicators for him. More strikeouts than innings pitched, and he will face Tim Elko, the first baseman, with 2 outs and nobody on in a 5-5 game. First ball swinging, hit to right center field, and on the run, Drew Avens. Well, 1 pitch, and Murillo takes care of business. We go to the home half of the 8th, even at 5. Tomorrow afternoon, another Dodger debut. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 3-time Sawamura Award winner, 3-time Pacific League MVP in Japan. He's thrown 2 career no-hitters. He's won the WBC, the Japan Series, 2020 Olympics. And he's just 25 years old. And we really look forward to seeing him debut for the Dodgers tomorrow. We hope you'll join us right here on Sportsnet LA. And AM 570 on the radio TV simulcast. Here's Trace Sweeney, the shortstop. Dodgers are looking forward to seeing more of him. Good pickup from the Yankee organization, former first rounder with the Yankees. And we've seen plenty of him here in the first week of the season, the spring season. Ropes this one down the right field line. It is hooking. And that's foul. A lot of people have been impressed with Sweeney so far. Now, what's that like, Mo, going over to a new club? You've been with one organization your career. You had to do that when you left the A's to go to the Cubs. What was that like to try to get used to a new organization?
Well, you played against the guys, but what's the overall approach? That was one of the big things with, quite frankly, Ohtani when he was talking to the Dodgers. Their emphasis, look, our trajectory, our direction is to win. And that's what he wanted. So you find out, is it okay, what's the game plan? Obviously, new setting, new people. How do you play the game? How's it presented? Talked earlier about the housing. I mean, that's the other part, too. Little things you kind of lose on the periphery of everything else.
Outside corner, grazing that corner for strike 3, and Sweeney goes down looking.
But the brand of baseball that's played, what are your goals? What are the expectations? Well, the Dodgers organization, the expectations are real simple. Win. In order to do that, get yourself physically and mentally prepared.
Kevin Padlo 0 for 1, struck out on a foul tip first time up. You might not have seen him strike out because that was when we had the Shohei Ohtani post-game interview on. But you're seeing it this time as he flares one to right for a base hit. And the go-ahead runs aboard in the bottom of the 8th. So in a spring training game, if it's a tie game, most people are rooting for the home team to get a run here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yes. Or we go into the uncle.
Right.
You know, you have X number of pitchers, X number of players. No, we're not going to tax it. Thank you. Good night.
Austin Gauthier. He had a base hit, scored a run in the 7th inning. Interesting story for Gauthier. Played in the Colonial Athletic Conference, Colonial Athletic Association, known as the CAA, and he went undrafted. But the Dodgers farm director, Will Rhymes, was also a player in that conference at one time. He was a shortstop at William and Mary, and somehow discovered Gauthier. It's, you know what, we should give him a look, and talked to the organization, and they ended up signing him. And he just continued to play his way and hit his way out of all the lower levels and keeps moving up.
A late bloomer.
Yeah. 2-0 pitches inside.
A few days ago we talked about scouting, how difficult that is. How do you scout? How do you project a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old who has not grown into his body? The motor skills, for the most part, are not fully developed either.
Strike call, 3-1 to Gauthier.
That's why good scouting is so valuable.
Five score, 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Schoenle getting ready to deliver, the left-hander for the White Sox. That's fouled off. Count goes to 3-2.
The other part of the scouting, from a player's standpoint, if you can play this game and play it well, they'll find you. But what is it about? Well, for Gauthier, what was it about him that someone says, hey, we need to look closely at this young man?
Payoff is inside ball 4, and that pushes the go-ahead run into scoring position. Hunter Fiducia will come up next to face Garrett Schoenle. Fiducia walked and scored in the 7th. Fiducia, left-handed batter. Runners lead first and second. Ball low and away, and it's 1-0 to Fiducia. Yeah, scouts turn over a lot of stones, don't they? They look for people everywhere. And sometimes there's just an it factor. You don't really know what that is. It can vary from player to player.
Well, for example, there are a few scouts sitting in the second section right behind home plate. I noticed it actually when the anthem was being presented. And a couple of them have radar guns mounted on the railing as they are taking notes and observations.
2-0. Wave and a miss.
So the scouting is always taking place. You know, whether it be amateurs that they're looking at, whether it be here spring training games. Rough count here in the 8th inning.
2-1 to Fiducia. Breaking ball down and away.
I count 11 scouts that you can see just looking down and recognizing. And there they are with right in the center. Those little radar guns that mounted on the railing.
Up and into Fiducia, and now the bases are full of Dodgers. Another walk drawn by Fiducia. Back-to-back walks. That pushes Gauthier to second. Go-ahead run. Padlo is at third base. And coming up is Drew Avens and a mound visit for the White Sox. You know, scouts have their own language, right? So one of the fun old school terms that scouts will say is might not be in the report, might be in the scouting report, but player's got a good face. And the meaning of that is that well, he looks like he can play.
Yeah.
You'd hate to have that in your scouting report, that you had a bad face.
There's a great word also that we heard. Presentation.
Well, Avens is looking for the presentation of one he can really hit. White Sox infield playing even with the bags all the way around. Go ahead runs at third. The pitch, and it's high for a ball to Drew Avens. 5-5 game, bottom of the 8th. Dodgers have not led in this one. Shohei Ohtani with a 2-run home run in his Dodger debut in the 5th inning. His third and final at bat today on a ball he said he thought was too high, and he said it was perhaps the Arizona factor that carried it out. Being modest. 1-0 to Avens. Outside, 2-0.
Well, a guy just walked back-to-back hitters, and you're up there 2 balls and no strikes. This has to be, if you were to place the ball on the tee, where would I like to have it? That's where this pitch has to be right now.
Schoenle delivers, and that pitch might have been there because Avens swung and missed. 2-1. Now the walks have been a problem for Garrett Schoenle in his minor league career. Last year he had 64 walks and 102 2/3 innings, and that translates out to be 5.6 walks per 9. Way too high. That's something he'll certainly look to work on this year. Well, he just delivered a tremendous pitch that Avens missed, and he fouled it straight back. 2-2 to Drew Avens. 1 out, bases loaded. The stretch by the lefty. Schoenle delivers. In the air to left toward the gap. Padlo tagging. Caught by Ortega. Sacrifice fly, and the Dodgers lead it 6-5. Drew Avens gets the go-ahead run in.
Tell you, the support troops, if you look at the last number of games, they have come in late in the game. Dodgers came up with 5 runs in the 8th inning in yesterday's contest.
Ravens pretty good at bat, got it done. Chris Oakey up there now. Oakey drills one to left. It is deep. It is to the wall. It is gone. A home run. Chris Oakey with his first Cactus League dinger. And that opens it up for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th. Nine to 5.
8th inning. 2 consecutive days have been very enjoyable as far as the runs, but some good swings at good pitches.
Ryan Ward with the bases clear, still 1 out. That's a big home run for Oakey. 2 outs, I beg your pardon. Forgot about the sacrifice fly. Sweeney struck out to lead off the inning. So 2 down. 2 out, 3-run homer. Great reason to smile on that dugout. Yeah, the support troops the last few days, Mo, I mean, they've really been able to get some runs on the board.
9 runs the last 2 days in the 8th inning.
1-2, breaking ball down and away. And the White Sox are getting somebody up in the bullpen. And for Ward, he waits the 2-2. He bounces it foul. Ryan Ward's had himself a pretty good spring so far. Had a ground rule double, drove in a run in the 7th inning. And he just continues to hit. The more guys like Ward hit, the more you want to see him play.
So the 8th inning yesterday broke up the tie with 5 runs. 8th inning today. To this point, they've broken up the tie with 4 runs.
2-2 pitch. Breaking ball popped up. Shallow left. Out is Mendick, the third baseman. He's called off by Ortega, the left fielder. He'll make the catch. But damage done. Avens gets the Dodgers the lead with a sacrifice fly, and then Chris Oakey dials long distance from Glendale. 9-5 Dodgers to the 9th. 9 runs on 12 hits for the Dodgers, 5 runs, 7 hits for the White Sox. As these youngsters are getting ready to see Southern California native from Clovis and Major League veteran Justin Wilson come out of the bullpen for the first time in Cactus League play to face Lenyn Sosa. Dodgers are hoping this is a pretty sneaky pickup here. 527 games. Wilson coming off of an injury. He told me the other day that he threw 10 bullpens in the offseason, and he said that each recovery day afterward he felt better and better. Said he felt great. And he said the recovery days down here have been great too. But getting into a Cactus League game for the first time. There's a guy who debuted in the big leagues in 2012 with Pittsburgh. Had a career high 74 appearances out of the Yankee bullpen. So Sosa starts things off with a base hit to right. Opposite field hit. Dodgers a 4-run lead, 9-5. 3 outs to get now. Chris Oakey with a home run. And Shohei Ohtani with a home run today. Mark Payton now batting. Left-handed hitter takes a strike. Now Wilson has also pitched for the Tigers, the Cubs, the Mets. He had another stint with the Yankees. Most recently pitched with the Cincinnati Reds in 2022. Missed last season. And the pitch on the way. In the air to left. Long run for Ryan Ward, and he won't get there. The ball falls in front of him. Payton with a hit. And now 2 on and nobody out.
Just hit right in between. Well, Wilson can close it out. Juan Murillo, who came in the 8th inning, threw all of 1 pitch, standing in line to get the victory. Technically,
it's called a vulture.
Yeah,
a vulture win.
Just kept circling overhead.
He barely broke a sweat. Brett Phillips, the veteran, at the plate. You might remember him in his little airplane run around in 2020 in the World Series after that crazy play that ended one of the games. First and second, runners lead, a swing and a miss. And it is 0-2. Phillips has been doing some moonlighting as a baseball analyst here and there. Still trying to give it a go here with the White Sox. Takes high for a ball. 1-2.
Tommy Lasorda used to call it pitcher's best friend, that being the double play. And Wilson would love, now ahead in the count, love to make that pitch and get the ground ball.
Wilson out of Fresno State. In fact, he was on a College World Series winning team in Fresno State. Contributed heavily on the mound for the Bulldogs. Back in the National League. He had 9 years in the National League, 4 years in the American League. 1-2's down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still 2-2. Ball fouled straight back. Shaking off the catcher, Chris Oakey. Runners lead down to 2-2. It is fisted foul over the third base dugout. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming up as Phillips is making it tough on Wilson. Top of the 9th inning, 9-5 Dodgers. Chris Oakey with an 8th inning home run. Here's the pitch. And left-hander gets a strikeout on a breaking ball. Pitched by Wilson. And there's 1 down for the White Sox in the 9th.
They're fouling off a few. Breaking ball away.
The Dodgers seem to find these guys, don't they? I mean, tons of experience and a lot of experience over in that clubhouse. And Wilson really could add to it. There's a swing by Corey Lee, the catcher.
Well, I think as an organization, we talked about organizations earlier. Well, the Dodgers have been known for decades on what they have been able to do with their pitching.
One strike pitch misses outside.
In particular for those that are trying to come back from injuries or maybe couldn't hook on with another ball club, had some difficulty and what have you, maybe a new approach, a new pitch possibly.
1-1. That's low. The prime example of that is Brian Brazier.
Exactly.
They taught him the cutter last year and really completely turned his season around 180 degrees. Wilson out of the stretch, looks back at second, now comes to the plate. Fouled off for strike 2. 2-2 to Corey Lee. Lee walked his last time up in the 7th.
Great time for ground ball.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think many people in that third base dugout would. Wilson can get that breaking ball low and induce a ground ball here. 2-2 pitch. A little bit up. Now full count, 3-2. Chris Oakey tried to help him. Payoff pitch. Struck him out. Swing and a miss by Corey Lee, and now the White Sox are down to their final out. Colson Montgomery, a left-hander, will now face the lefty Justin Wilson. Wilson's kick and the pitch. Strike 1 called. That just took him a minute. He gave up 2 hits. The second one an opposite field flare, and then struck out Phillips, struck out Lee, and he gets ahead of Montgomery. And this one drilled in the gap in right center field, pretty solidly struck. They'll get a run home. And it's now 9-6. Sosa comes into the score. And over to third base goes Payton, and an RBI single for Montgomery. Two outs in the ninth, 1 out to get. Force play available at second base. Danny Mendick, the third baseman. Right-handed batter faced the lefty Wilson. And Wilson's pitch. Missing. It's just got to feel good for him to get back out on a game mound in an actual game. You can have live BP all you want, but it's just not the same.
No, and it's a different setting. I mean, it's kind of foreign territory. It's another reason you want as much playing time as you can in spring. You can work out even on fields, you know, during the off season, you know, weather permitting, obviously, have that opportunity. But there is nothing like getting into actual competition.
2-ball, no strike pitch. Mendick takes a strike on the inner half. You know, there are opportunities that the fans don't get to see often because there'll be B games, they'll call them. Usually played around 10 o'clock in the morning. They'll bring another team in. White Sox often, because they're right here on the same complex. And you get to pitch against opposite players. So the foul tip makes it strike 2, and the White Sox down to their final strike.
Yeah, those B games still aren't the same. A little different when that game starts at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And there's nobody there.
Yep.
All right, here comes the 2-2 from Justin Wilson. Whoa. Borderline. And now the runner at first, Montgomery, will go on a 3-2 pitch. I think Wilson wanted a strike call there, didn't get it. And he'll come back with another. This is the 27th pitch of the inning for Wilson. Runner goes, swung out and foul, tipped in and out of the glove of Oki. So a lot of pitches for Wilson, but I'm sure he's glad to be back out there. And a strike away from ending the ball game.
Or a batter away from going to the bullpen. Someone is loosening up.
Runners lead from the corners. Montgomery will take off. Here comes the payoff pitch to Mendick. Swing on and miss, strike 3. Wilson finishes it up. He strikes out 3 in the inning. But the Dodgers win it. They remain unbeaten in Cactus League play. They go to 5-0-1. The White Sox drop to 1-4. Shohei Ohtani was the story here today, making his Dodger debut. In his third and final at bat, he hit a towering drive for a 2-run home run. 9-6, the final score. Dodgers win it. Make sure to join us tomorrow on Sportsnet LA and AM 570 for the simulcast when the Dodgers face the Rangers at noon. Radio pregame begins at 11:30. Now on the TV side, stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers.